Hi, welcome to the Past and Present Performance Series. You may notice that we have a little bit of a different setup than we normally do, but that's totally okay. The stream will be going exactly the same way, and we're with the awesome Queen Nerd today, and she'll be answering a couple of questions, then telling a couple of awesome stories. So let's jump right into it. What is your name, your background, and your role?
So, peace and blessings, Jocelyn, and thank you for Arts Ed and having us, the artists come and do from past to present and talk about our art form. My name is Queen Noor. I am a storyteller. I am an international storyteller, a teaching artist, and a folklorist.
That's very interesting. What exactly is a folklorist?
So folklorist is a person who studies the folk, who studies the people, who collects and makes sure that we perpetuate our culture and make people aware of the different cultures. We record it, we document it, we archive it, we present it, and it's all about the folk.
Wow.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
What did you win the award for and when?
Okay, so I won the New Jersey Governor's Award in 2018 in arts education for being a teaching artist.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then why do you believe that the arts are more important now than ever?
You know, I don't know whether I want to qualify more now more than ever. It's always been important. And I think that part of it is that people haven't realized across the ages how important it is. Arts is an avenue to freedom, creativity, building knowledge, to internalizing self, and to identification of self. The arts are so important. The arts opens doors. It opens potential. It opens possibilities that sometimes is squashed in strict and squared environments. It's not square. It's not even round. It's an open flow from into a person's artistry, into their creativity, and it just makes us blossom. And we all need to tap into our creativity, and we all need to blossom, given the conditions of whether it's COVID, whether it's we're dealing with race relations, just in our everyday peace, in our everyday identification, who we are. Arts is so important to that.
Absolutely. So what impact did arts education have on your life?
So let's see, when I was 11 years old, I wrote my first poem.
Okay.
It was Crispus Attucks. And my father started recording my poems to jazz music. My father loved jazz. And so he was actually my first producer. I now have, 2 CDs, but he's actually on one of my CDs. But my father was my first producer. And then when I went into high school, there was theater. And although I went to a high school that was maybe, it was less than 10% Black, it was somewhere between 2 and 5% Black, or African American. I joined the theater department and drama, and was able to release and learn from from those platforms from theater. Also, I performed my poetry, so it impacted me very at a young age. But also, I started to do my training and my work when I was in high school, and then creative writing was my favorite class of all time in high school. And junior high school, it was we had a Black Voices class, and so my life really is purged with the not purged, but it is mixed with my father always said, like when I was doing a report, Karen, always look for the Black precedents, right? So knowing my history and my identity through history and who I am and my heritage, and then my identity through the sense of who I am as an artist is who I am, and it's very important to me.
So that did just kind of answer this question, but share something that inspires you during this time and just in general.
Okay. Well, I'm very inspired right now because of what has happened with COVID, that the organizations that I'm involved with, whether it's young audiences of New Jersey and Eastern Pennsylvania, whether it's Perkins Center for the Arts. I work with the National Council for Traditional Artists, meeting with folklorists across the country. I am very inspired by how that all the organizations and artists that that I'm connected with are saying the arts won't stop. COVID doesn't stop it, and that they're reaching for what else is possible, and how does it get better than this in these conditions. And so I've been constantly since March on watching as organizations and artists are reaching to look at those alternatives, like how do we do this virtually, but how do we keep it real, how do we still connect with our audiences, because arts are so needed. And even yesterday I attended a workshop on anti-racism that was given, and it was given by young audiences of Pennsylvania, but with the New Jersey Arts Education Collective. And it opened with Dr. Layla Aisha Jones, and she was doing a movement exercise, which really had you gather into yourself and then give and be humble about it. And so I'm inspired in this time on how artists are helping artists. I'm inspired in this time how artists will not release their mission to serve and to provide the arts, not only to students, but to the adult world as well.
Yeah, I also have seen a lot of, like, I guess not resurgent because it's always been there, but flourishing of artistic growth and artistic like power, I guess, at the moment, with everyone
Right.
being at home.
Right. And it's that what the arts is helping us to do is tap into our gifts, even when we're in lockdown. And so I want to share this story with you.
Okay.
Okay.
And then one more question before you do.
Mm-hmm.
What are some words of wisdom that you have for the class of 2020, whether it be the recipients of the award this year or just the general class of graduating seniors?
Actually, the word that has been coming to me a lot is listen. Listen. It is critical that we listen to our spirits, that we listen to others, that even as artists, make sure that you're listening to your community. You're listening to to artists that you're trying to inspire, so that you can embrace and grasp what are their needs, and use your artistry to tap into that. Is to listen.
Wonderful. Well, please go ahead with your story.
Okay. It's storytelling time. You tell yours and I'll tell mine. Storytelling time. I clap your hands, stomp your feet, get on down. It's storytelling time. You tell yours and I'll tell mine. Storytelling time. I clap your hands, stomp your feet, get on down like Brer Rabbit in the Cabbage Patch. I got tales you want to catch, stories of all kinds that'll rattle your brain and shake your mind. It's storytelling time. You tell yours and I'll tell mine. Storytelling time. I clap your hands, stomp your feet, get on down. It's storytelling time. You tell yours and I'll tell mine. Storytelling time. I clap your hands, stomp your feet, get on down. I might tell one of Jersey's own, or way back from my ancestral home, Africa. But I'll bust that smile open wide, telling those stories while truth rises. I storytelling time. You tell yours and I'll tell mine. Storytelling time. I clap your hands, stomp your feet, get on down. In a village in Africa, in the west coast of Africa. There were children there who liked to play the game Daga, a snake game. The children would gather every day. Now you know that if there are children in a village, there are also elders. This story is a story that I first heard at the National Association of Black Storytellers, and it's a story that a lot of us share. For in this location, in this village, there was an elder, and everyone called her Elder Mother. Everyone loved Elder Mother so much because when the babies were born, Elder Mother would whisper into their ears. When the babies grew to be tall babies, Elder Mother would still lend words of wisdom. So everyone in the village decided that they wanted to celebrate Elder Mother and give her her own special day. And the children said, yes, let's make something with our hands. Everyone but this one little girl. She said, I can't make anything with my hands. I can't. It seemed to be true. When they tried to to make a necklace for Elder Mother, all her beads buttons, they would just cascade down to the ground. When I said, come on, let's carve something for Elder Mother, she would carve too deep. And when it was time to make a patchwork quilt or a quilt, she would always stitch in the wrong direction. I can't do anything with my hands. So as she did every day, she picked up her gourd, her open gourd, and went down to the river to collect water to bring back home. And she stood before the river with her gourd, and she held it out. And she thought about how all the other children were making gifts with their own hands for Elder Mother. And she loved Elder Mother too. And she wanted to make her gift. So she bent down to the water to fill up her gourd. And her tear dropped upon the gourd. And it plopped into the river. And the river, it began to sing. Hold out your hands, child. Open up your heart, my child. Watch the sparkling lights fall as they dance across the water. Wow! She couldn't believe that the water had sang to her. And so she went back home that evening and she used the water to help to cook and then to help to wash the dishes. And at night, she still heard the melody in her dreams. She heard the melody in her dreams. Hold out your hands, child. Open up your heart, my child. Watch the sparkling lights fall as they dance across the water. When she woke up the next day, it was the day that they were going to give their gifts to Elder Mother, and still she had made nothing with her own hands. And so she remembered how the river made her feel, and she picked up the gourd and she ran back down to the river, and this time she placed the gourd down right at the river shore. And she stood there. She remembered the words. Hold out your hands, child. Open up your heart, my child. Watch the sparkling lights fall as they dance across the water. Wow! The river, it sang to her once again. And so she bent down to get the water, but all of a sudden, lights sprang out of the water, like the blue and the red and fuchsia and purple and pink and gray. And she took all of the lights and she placed them inside the gourd. Then she took off her gele. She tied it around the gourd and she held it close to her heart. And she walked back to the village. And there was a line as long as you could see of children presenting their gifts to Elder Mother. And she stood in the line, and she got closer and closer. And Elder Mother, I did not make this gift with my own hands, but I wanted to give it to you. And Elder Mother, being blind, she took the gourd and she placed it next to her heart. And she said, you did not make this with your own hands, but I feel that this gift has a lot of power. And then a little girl, she helped to take the gele off, and the lights shot straight up in the air. And they circled around 1, 2, 3 times, and they shot into Elder Mother's eyes. Elder Mother's eyes were open, and she said, do you see this child? This child has a special gift. She is a healer. She has made it so that I can see all the wonderful gifts that each and every one of you have brought here to me today. All you have to do is recognize your gift. Become aware of it, own it, and share it with the world. All you have to do is this. Hold out your hands, child. Open up your heart, my child. Watch the sparkling lights fall as they dance across the water. Now, yesterday, Dr. Jones had us gather into ourselves and give. So I want you to do that with me today. We're going to lean back and gather into ourselves. Do that with me. Lean back and gather into ourselves. Let's do it again. Gather into our heart space and ourselves, and then give it to the world. Put your hands out and sing. Hold out your hands, child. Open up your heart, my child. Watch the sparkling lights fall as they dance across the water. Each and every one of you is God's sparkling lights, and you can help to make a difference in the world. Shine. Thank you.
So wonderful and so inspiring and just so unique and just it's extraordinary.
Thank you so much. It was really a pleasure to be here, and it was an honor to receive the Governor's Award. And it was a real honor because this year I got to MC the Governor's Award.
That was so awesome too.
Yeah, that was awesome. That was awesome. And I, even though it was isolated and we were in, we were like in a silos, everyone sending their videos. The crew came and videotaped me at the location. But when I saw it all together, wow, was I inspired by the student performances. And I'm just glad that that's another occasion where no matter what, the artistry is not stopping. You know, it can't stop because artistry is our heartbeat. Art is our heartbeat, you know. So
art is human.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Thank you so much, Jocelyn.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for coming on. Thank you everyone who's watched the stream. And I hope you have a great night. I hope you have a great day. And I hope everyone stays safe and has a great time.
Yeah, thank you too. And they can find me at www.queennoor.com. QUEENNUR.com.
Awesome.
Right? All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.